Welcome to Sharpie's Garage. Today I'm going to be repairing this stroke that's outside of my van. It wrong when I bought it, so it's not my bad driving that's caused it. The main part of the damage is the scrape along the flat panel. It's that deep I can nearly get my little finger in it. Now I wanted to keep the fancy stickers on the side of the van. The local sign making shop wanted £70, and I thought, well, that's a bit steep just for a few stickers, so I thought I'll take a template, buy some vinyl and have a go myself. So I picked the windiest day in history, strapped some A4 sheets together and stuck them to the side of the van so I could trace the layout of the stickers. Turned out to be quite a good template, to be fair. So then I warmed the stickers up with a heat gun and removed all the stickers that I needed to take off. And then I got my lad to hold some thick steel on the outside of the van while I belted it from the inside to try and force the groove out a little bit. With my superb panel beating skills. Move down a bit. Okay, let go. To take a bit of the spring out of the panel, I used a wood chisel just to put a few grooves in it. And then I went outside to make sure it weren't going to pop back in. Then it was time to mix some filler up. I used the fattest spreader I got to try and even it across the flat panel in particular. In hindsight, I should have mixed a lot more up and just daubed it all on, but I ended up putting about 3 coats on to get it somewhat like straight. While I was waiting for that section to dry, I got a flappy disc in the grinder and cleaned the rust out of the wheel arch before I started filling. And then I hit the flat panel with my belt sander with 120 grit paper in it. This was after the first coat of filler. I ended up putting another 2 coats on top of this to get it back to original flatness, or as near as. I managed to get the rusty bits on the wheel arch somewhat like done. It was just the dint in the top of the wheel arch from the damage that I needed to work on. This was my final coat of filler. As you can see, I'm spreading it out more across the board. Once I sanded that flat, I didn't have any primer to put a dust coat on, so I used some red oxide and just painted it in lines to try and find any eye spots. Other than the bit of a chunk missing out of the filler, it felt quite good at this point, but I was running out of daylight, so I had to go and fetch a tin of primer just to prime it up so I could leave it overnight, or until the next time I could work on it. It was actually a couple of days before I could get back to it. When I did, I put some more filler around the top of the wheel arch and then just put some proper primer on. Now I don't know if it's because I'd left it a couple of days, but the fresh filler that I put on had got little pinholes in it. So I filled them with red oxide and some spray filler. I bought this spray filler from the local convenience store and it was rubbish. It come out like snot. But I persevered with it, and then I get it a good sand with some 1000 wet and dry. And then once I finished wet sanding, it was time for D-Day. I had to clean it all up, dried it, and then put some top coat on. And to be honest, it was that windy, it wouldn't have made any difference if I made full sweeps or not full sweeps. I kind of figured I was going to have to wet sand the final finish. So I just daubed the paint on it and so once I got it complete, a few coats on, I get it a good wet sand to get all the dustiness out at finish and bring back a bit of a shine with some polish. And then I pulled all the masking off to marvel at my magnificence. So then I brought my template back out, stuck it back to the van and traced out where I needed to put the stickers. I used a soft wax pencil to get the markings on the van. I then got the same template and laid it onto my vinyl, and I tried to cut it out all in one piece, but that didn't work out too well. I didn't film that bit because I got a bit mardy. So I stuck the piece on that I managed to salvage, and then I started putting the diamonds on individually. Seemed to make it a lot easier. Sticking vinyl on's not something I'd like to attempt again, but it didn't work out too bad. And then I got any of the wax lines I put on, I clean them off and get it all a final polish. So here we have it in its final glory. I mean, I don't claim to be a body man, but I don't think it's turned out too bad. The entire costs were £27.95, which I don't think too bad to straighten it up a bit. An old mate of mine who is a body man, he'd call it a good 5-footer, which basically means it looks good from 5 foot away. So that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.